Hello, second grade friends. Today I'm going to teach you all about my favorite type of literature. My favorite genre is poetry, and we're going to learn all about poetry. As a matter of fact, this week for your HAP work is all about poetry. So I'm going to teach you a little bit about poetry right now. You guys ready? I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see. Ms. Favera, please make this work. Let's see. Great. Today we're going to learn all about poetry, which is a type of genre. Poetry is written by a poet. It actually expresses how the poet may feel. It could describe something. A poem is a string of words that are put together for a specific meaning. And sometimes it rhymes. Poetry is broken down into lines. So when you look at poems, they have lines, not complete sentences straight across like how we write, but lines. And if you look at it, those lines are grouped together into stanzas. As mentioned before, sometimes poems rhyme, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they even have a rhythm, sometimes they don't. Sometimes words in a poem will repeat, and we know that those repeated words mean that the poet is trying to tell us something that's really important. Poems also have something called imagery in them. That's when a poet really describes something and we can kind of see it without actually looking at a picture. And then poems may have something called alliterations. Alliterations are like sentences that all of the first letters have the same sound. Like, Peter Piper picked a peck of peppers. That's an alliteration. And then another thing that poems might have is called onomatopoeias. And onomatopoeias are sound words like boom, bang, zap. So those are some things that we may find in poems. When you read a poem, it's really important that before you even get started, is some things you need to scan for. First, read the title and who's that poet. Then you could begin to think like that poet because now you know what he's thinking about. And then if you know know poets really well, then you can kind of figure out where they're going with this. Also, notice how the poem is arranged. Look at the lines. Look at the stanzas. Look at the last word of each line and see if that word rhymes. Maybe there's a rhythm that you need to catch before you start reading. And then before you get started with you actually reading the poem, you should be thinking, what does this poet want me to know or understand? Let's practice. You guys ready? I'm going to read this poem by Ken Nesbitt. Now, I know Ken Nesbitt is a child poet. He's a poet for children, and he usually has really funny poems. The title of this poem is called, I Taught My Cat to Clean My Room. Wait a minute, can cats really clean your room? I think I might practice teaching my cat to clean my room during this break. Let's see, I'm going to read this poem. Before I get started, now I'm looking at all the lines and I'm looking at the stanzas. I noticed that this poem has 3 stanzas. They're broken up kind of like paragraphs. And then I also noticed that on the first line, the last word says room. Wait a minute, on the second line, the last word says broom. Room and broom rhymes. That means this poem might rhyme. And I need to make sure I catch the rhythm so that it rhymes while I'm reading it. You guys ready to practice? Let's go. Before I get started, I'm thinking, what does Ken Nesbitt want me to know or think about his cat cleaning his room? Let's go. I taught my cat to clean my room, to use a bucket, brush, and broom, to dust my clock and picture frames and pick up all my toys and games. He put my pants and shirts away and makes my bed, and I would say, it seems to me it's only fair he puts away my underwear. In fact, I think he's got it made. I'm not happy with our trade. He may pick up my shoes and socks, but I clean his litter box. I am now thinking, what does Ken Nesbitt want me to know or understand? Well, I definitely know that this cat is pretty talented. I mean, if he can clean up all those things, that's a pretty good cat. But wait a minute. In this last stanza, he said, I'm not happy with our trade. What is he trading? He said, he may pick up my shoes and socks, but I clean his litter box. Why is he not happy with that? Well, this cat is pretty talented and he does clean up pretty well. But this character is not happy with cleaning the poop out of his litter box. And that's what Ken Nesbitt wants us to understand. Although this cat can do all these great things, he still does not want to clean up his poop. If you have any further questions regarding poetry, please, please, please contact your HAP teacher. See you guys soon. Bye.
Yeah.